Oh, yes, today is a good day to announce that the shit is going to hit the fan. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's not an optimistic way to start the broadcast, but yes, today we have shit's gonna hit the fan news to share with you, among other things, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. This is Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where the shit hits the fan sometimes, and sometimes it just spreads out on the pavement of Emiliano Zapata, and where we endeavor to connect each other and to connect with our destination through positive news and information and cultural snippets that can help us better appreciate where we are, why we're here, and how to best enjoy it. That's what we do. So, before we get ahead of ourselves, tudum pam pim pam pam. As always, I welcome everybody joining us here live on the broadcast. It's always a pleasure to look at your questions and your comments. If you're joining us live for the first time, please let us know by adding the word new to your comment. We'll be so very happy to give you a nice little welcome. If there is something really pressing that you wish to share, like Chris, who has added a capital letter Q to his question, maybe a couple restaurant tours. Again, you have visited so many, maybe a couple of your favorites. Yes, we are going to be doing some of that. So there you go. That was a question that was pressing for Chris. We were happy to single it out because he added a capital letter Q at the beginning. The answer, Chris, is yes, there's so many restaurants out there. For me, visiting restaurants and actually sitting down and enjoying them is a matter of time and budget. For me to walk into a restaurant and just look around it is a matter of time. So, yes, there are a bunch of new restaurants, and I'm always torn between, do I talk about a new restaurant without having tried it first, or do I just talk about it? And that's an interesting question that I would like to return to you. Would you rather hear of new restaurants and then maybe I get to try them or not? Let me know how you feel about this. Anyhow, I think we're ready to go. Yes, we are. We might as well get started. Oh, and today, of course, we have to have a big map extravaganza. Well, rather than explaining myself, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Mayor Michel, and this is the big meat and potatoes of today, has finally put A and B together, at least publicly, when it comes to the new Guadalajara to Puerto Vallarta highway and its less than ideal consequences for Puerto Vallarta. Yes, you heard me right. This happened at the third Regional Forum for Joint Construction, a part of the National Strategy of Mobility and Security, which took place here in Puerto Vallarta and where he was joined by authorities from both Jalisco and Nayarit. And what was the big epiphany? Well, we've mentioned it here before in the broadcast, and the epiphany is that once the new highway is completed, by the end of the year, although they're now saying January of next year. Its inbound funnel effect will be disastrous for local traffic. That means if you're heading north, if you're going to Guadalajara and you want to take the new highway, it won't be as bad. Well, you'll still have to deal with rush hour traffic once you get to Guadalajara. But if you're coming down, if you're heading into Puerto Vallarta, all the traffic that is going to come in through the new highway and through the old highway are going to funnel together into a big mess. As such, Mayor Michel exhorted federal authorities to prioritize two important projects that require state and or federal funding. Number one, the completion of the Federación Bridge, and number two, an underpass at Las Juntas. Oh, and of course, he mentioned the third project, which it's still up in the clouds because we have not even seen it, and that would be the broader beltway going through the mountains, bypassing the city altogether. You think traffic is ugly now? Let's put it all together on the map and make sure that I am set up to do that. Boom. Do we have a map? Yes, we have a map. Okay, let me put the map. The map is on. I want to be able to look at it. And we're going to start with this overview of the whole area. First of all, notice how there's a bunch of new doodles on the map now. These represent all the new extensions or the new stretches of toll highway that have been opening in the last few weeks. Now, let us first start on what's going on from Guadalajara, which is that we have this new section that only gets to Compostela. And then we have the so-called curves. The slow section of the highway is here. So there's still a mystery section of the highway that is going to go from this point to this little point over here. Now, that is supposed to be worked on, and that is all lovely. And I hope you find this as interesting as I do. Then you have all these little sections that have been connecting the new highway with different points. Check out this. For example, the nice folks at Sayulita are a little ruffled because the new highway did not contemplate an exit for them. So if you're going to Sayulita, you have to get off the toll highway sometime before, maybe up here, to get to Sayulita. But that's not our problem. That's Nayarit's problem. So the new highway keeps coming down. And then there's the new loop-de-loop that just opened near the exit to La Cruz de Guanacaxtle. And then we know that the new highway is somehow going to miraculously connect between here and the airport, which is here. How is this going to happen is still a mystery, but keep in mind that at this general area, well, actually, let me go back to the Mezcales intersection. At this general area, you will have people that continue to use the toll-free highway coming in, because we've known that the highways are expensive, and people that will take the new highway, which until they make other announcements, will come up to this road and then intersect with Mezcales, and that's where the first funnel is going to take place. Now, we've known also about the Federación Bridge, which is this business that is going on here. There's a road that connects near the university. And of course, we know that our city has been busy finishing up this road over here, hopefully in anticipation of what's coming. But this part is still the big mystery. So in the best possible scenario, this new Federación Bridge is going to be connected such that when the traffic is coming in from the new highway, it'll enter the city through a different place. But until this happens, there will be no choice but to come in through Mezcales and then through the airport. And these are going to be nasty, nasty funnels, which is why the mayor is hoping for an underpass. No, not here, over here. An underpass here at Las Juntas. And of course, I was mentioning the ginormous overpass, which is supposed to go through the mountains and bypass the city altogether. This is a project that has been mentioned for many, many years, but we haven't seen it. It hasn't really been on the table, although recently we announced that this giant overpass has already been drafted and is ready to go, and it's just a matter of having the funding. But the long story short is a year from now, when the new highway is completed, unless we have the Federación Bridge completed and a better connection to Guadalajara, all these people, and this is what Mayor Michel was arguing in this event, it doesn't help us to have an increasing number of cruise arrivals and tourists arriving by sea and by land and by air if once they come to Puerto Vallarta, they are unable to get to their destination because of the new highway. So that is the epiphany that Mayor Michel is having publicly. We've been talking about this for some time, and hopefully the fact that he was able to appeal to federal and state authorities, this will absolutely happen. And that's the end of that. Going back to the news, I want to let you know that if you are from Canada and living in Bahia de Banderas, you may be interested in this upcoming presentation announced by the Consular Agency of Canada about consular services to Canadian citizens. The event will take place a week from today on March 30th at Salón Paraíso in Jarretaderas, Nayarit. The time has not been announced, but an RSVP email address is provided, so you let them know and they let you know what time the event is going to take place. I will leave you, obviously, with this information in the show notes. Last but not least, in our set of formal news, things are about to get a bit uncomfortable for Mexican deadbeat dads. The Senate has approved the creation of a so-called National Registry of Food Obligations, which will keep and publish information, as in the names of fathers that are not supporting their minor children as stipulated by law. But things get even uglier for deadbeat dads. If you're a deadbeat dad and you end up in this registry, not only will your name be disclosed in public, you will not be able to get a new passport or driver's license, nor will you be able to pursue any position by popular election, as in politics, nor will you be able to get married again. Tómala, deadbeat dads. And with that said, let us dive into the news. And of course, I meant to say, let us dive into the weather, not the news. Siri and I had a thing once. It didn't end well. She could never understand what I was saying. That's what our snarky weather has to say. What we have to say is that it is 27 degrees out there. Humidity is at 40%, and Fahrenheit degrees. Our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 80 degrees. We are now looking at the weather forecast for today, which says clear through the day with a high of 31 and a low of 19. Tomorrow, Friday, a high of 24. Tomorrow, Friday, the 24th, a high of 30 and a low of 17. And it's going to be a partly cloudy day. And Saturday, a mostly cloudy day with a high of 30 and a low of 17. Back to our announcements. Let's see what else we have. Yes. Galleria Dante has announced its final Friday evening meet and greet event of the season to take place this coming Friday. These events are a great opportunity to not only enjoy the broad variety of art on display at the gallery, but also to meet some of the artists represented by Galleria Dante. This is going to be, again, this coming Friday evening. Always a good time to enjoy all the activities that take place at Galleria Dante and surrounding businesses. I also want to let you know about Bodeguita Versalles on Niza Street. We've known for some time that it is an awesome little shop where you can find a great selection of handmade finds and creations curated by its owners. They seem to have branched out now, repurposing part of their shop into a literary cafe known as El Café de los Poetas, or the Poets Coffee House. I don't know if they will have a separate identity, but I will leave you with Bodeguita Versalles' Facebook page in the show notes so that you can check it out if you'd like to. And it looks like the nice folks at Alquimia, the wine bar in El Centro, could use some help promoting their next wine tasting event featuring a winery from Valle de Guadalupe. The event is set to take place on March 29, and I've seen it advertised as such in a couple of places, despite the fact that their Facebook event is set for March 21st, or 2 days ago. So I'm sure it is a mistake, and it happens to the best of us, and let's hope that a lot of people show up for this event, which will be 600 pesos, which includes tasting 4 wines and a pairing. I'm always excited to read about Mexican wines being showcased locally, and this should be a great event if you are a Mexican wine lover. Last but not least, you know where I'm going to be this afternoon. We've been talking about this on and on, so I won't bore you. I just hope that you'll be there. But I'm going to quickly segue into this, which is the follow-up event. My next musical appreciation lecture is going to be an overview of the musicals sometimes known as the art of throwing the house out the window. We will start with an overview of the evolution of theater and film through time and their influence on the birth of musicals. Then we'll dive into the collaborative process of creating musical theater. Who and how is musical theater composed? Then we will unpack the process of actually producing a musical for the stage, and we will take a look at how the musical is evolving in the new millennium, whether it is intended for stage or cinema or television. During the lecture, we will enjoy video selections of popular musicals so that we can connect with the information provided. This is going to be in 2 weeks on Thursday, April 13, just after Semana Santa, 5 o'clock at the Joint Co-working Hotel. As always, 300 pesos, a great afternoon to learn some new stuff. And with that said, let's see what is on your mind so that we can continue with our broadcast. Do-de-do-do-do. Let's see. Lots of good mornings. Let's see. More good mornings. We've looked at that capital letter Q. More good mornings. Some of you are attending the Chili Cook-Off. Have fun. Chrissy says, found more info on the Taco Festival. Thank you very much for that. It does sound like a fun, yummy event. Although, as I said before, I suspect it's going to be a bit of a madhouse because it's free and it's happening on Semana Santa weekend. So maybe I'll take a peek. I'll walk down and take a look at the lower plaza from where the church is located just to see if it looks too crazy or not. Let's see what else. Oh, yummy. Landlady is back. Her daughter made pozole. That sounds yummy. Let's see. Curtis says, I'd rather hear about your take on the restaurant after you have visited it and eaten there. Thank you very much for that, Curtis. That would be my general feeling. Whenever I've mentioned new restaurants that I open, I'm happy, and I have done this before, I'm happy to disclose that I haven't tried it. So such was the case of that terrarium place that I mentioned the other day, and I'm always eager to hear your input as well. By the way, for restaurants that are on the Versalles for Foodies map, I never add a restaurant that I haven't tried before. That's the one place in which I definitely try the place first before we put it on the map. But thank you for your feedback. Much appreciated. Let's see what else. Spencer, oh honey. Spencer asks, where's the new Mayan train route in respect to all the new highway routes? Well, let me show you on the map because that's easy to do. It is definitely not around here. You see, this is our region. Here is Puerto Vallarta. Here is Mexico. And here is the Maya train. This is where the Maya are and we're located on the opposite side of the country. So we don't concern ourselves with the impact to our livelihood of the Maya train because we're all the way over here. Our concern with the Maya train is to go and enjoy it. Any new pictures of the PVR airport progress? None that I have seen, Paula. But as you know, those are important news. That is important news. So as soon as we see something related, we will be happy to share it. Hi, Nicole. Nicole is new, longtime watcher, and finally just moved to Puerto Vallarta. That deserves one of these.
Woot woot! Almost
yes.
done.
Yes. Wonderful. Welcome, Nicole. Happy to hear that you've just moved. If there's anything we can connect you with, just let us know. Let's see what else. Oh, if I were a rich woman, I would fly to PV to attend your musical lectures. God bless you. Let's see what else we have. Have an awesome Thursday, everyone, playing hooky today like a teenager with their driver's license at the end of spring semester. I know that Logan has a guest in town, and I would be trying to play hooky as well. Let's see. Barbara had dinner at La Fina. Fabulous dinner at La Fina. I haven't had dinner at La Fina, but it's good to know that it is a good place. And I think this, yes, Claude, we said wood. And that was Claude going woot. He sent me that woot some time ago, and I turned it into
woot woot. Almost done.
A sound effect. Yes, that's right. And with that sound effect, we are almost done. And I am going to say goodbye for the time being. It's time to get prepared for this afternoon's lecture, which I'm very much looking forward to. And then Indian dinner with some friends. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you were not totally geeked out with the maps. I just think it's really crazy how things are going to get here in Puerto Vallarta. But between now and then, we will make the best of it in the best possible way. And that's it. Yes, that's it. So, have a great day. I'll see you again tomorrow. If not, tomorrow sometime very soon. Have a good one.